All right, all right, all right. Hello, 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 everybody. I'm hearing myself. I don't know why. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. All right, y'all, welcome back. I feel like I've been gone for quite some time. Did y'all miss me?
It was awesome. Sorry, I didn't. That came out loud.
I'm gonna start banning you from my team meetings, just FYI. No, I'm just playing. But would love to hear what you guys have to say. I know yesterday was what? Bold, right? Some of you guys are in Bold. You had your second session. I know that was probably great for you. If you have anything to add from the bucket fills, you could do so then. But just tell me something good. What do you have going on professionally, personally? What's going on in your world? Got some right here. Make sure we get y'all on the mic. Well, you could get Dave.
Good morning. Is it
Mesh.
on? It is on.
It's on. It goes to the Zoom.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Good morning. Good morning. I'm sorry I speak low. I just had my first client sign on a commercial lease this morning.
Woohoo!
Out of state, so she's relocating here. So
Awesome. Great job. Great job. Awesome. Awesome. All right.
So tomorrow I'm getting ready to close on a listing that I've been working on for about a year.
Oh, wow.
We went through Keller Offers Ready to Sell program, and there's some little kinks there, but it worked. We got more value out of that house than I ever dreamed of.
Awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations. Anybody else, personal, professional? Oh, we got one all the way over there, Melanie.
Oh.
You gonna beat her there?
Yeah.
Barbara is pretty quick. Even with the bum knee, absolutely.
Hi.
Hey, Melanie.
Here. I have my cousin, Heather.
Hi, Heather.
She is a newly licensed agent and she is from Beaumont.
Oh, go LU. Awesome. Well, congratulations. Welcome, welcome. If anybody's mean, it's because of Nimesh. Just so you know. All right, awesome. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm home and I'm alive.
You're home and you're alive. Well, we love
That
that.
second one was in question.
We love that. Jacob, you want to share what you just put on there? We can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I attended the Zoom meeting yesterday for 72 sold, and I'm just getting into it today, so I don't have much to add to it yet, but it seems like an amazing program. So I'll know more later on today.
Awesome. So you're excited about that opportunity.
Yes, after our meeting, I'm going to get into a lot of that training, but it was just, especially with, our head guy pushing it, it seems stupid not to go give it a shot. And you don't have to spend that much money to use the program. It's, if you want to spend the money for commercials and stuff, that's fine. But just to get started seemed like the way to go.
Sounds good. So he's describing an opportunity that's being pushed out there called 72 Sold. It's available for you guys to look at that opportunity as well and see if it works well for your business. But we are constantly on the leadership side trying to make sure we we are, and our intention is always to bring you items of value, tools that you can use so that your business will be successful. And that's what one of the things he's mentioning on the call. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right, let's move on. Okay, so just a quick glimpse at some of our upcoming events. We got our trunk or treat. If you don't already have your trunk ready to go, man, Kimbra is gonna beat you out so bad. All right, get your trunk together. If you haven't seen the video from last year, we have it on our closed Facebook group. It's an opportunity for you to, collaborate with your community, get to know them, encourage them to come out here. It's going to be safe. We're going to have some music blasting. I promise Nimesh won't dance.
No, there's no promises. No promises.
but you'll have an opportunity to have fun. If you can't make it, please donate some candy. We want to make sure that we don't run out of candy as we did last year, but we had over 800 participants last year come through in our parking lot. And so we get very creative. We are realtors, right? So we got real creative. So rain or shine, it is going down. Okay. So it's happening this Saturday in our parking lot. If you from 6 to 8 o'clock. Okay.
Hang on. And I know everybody.
Make sure if you are bringing your trunk, get here about 4-ish. We need to get you guys set up. You guys can decorate your spots and go from there. But if you get here too late, we have to close off an area to make it safe for the kids.
All right.
Okay, and hang on, and then I know everybody's thinking it, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It is game 2 of the World Series on Saturday with our Astros. We will make arrangements, okay?
So you won't
So
miss the
You'll
game.
be around, all right? You'll be able to.
We got you. We got you. All right. So we'll hit on all of these a little bit more as we go on. But November 1st is our evening business planning clinic. Now we're in the 4th quarter. It is time to start planning on how you can end the 4th quarter strong and then begin the new quarter strong as well. So we're having that evening business planning clinic November 1st. It is in person only. November 3rd is our goal settings with Andy St. Jean, our very own Andy. And then November 4th is the business planning clinic for dummies with Andy. Some of y'all fit, I guess, in that category. I don't. I guess this is the easier version. All right, we got a power hour going on Wednesday, October 26th, today from 1 to 2:30 p.m. It is about our veterans community. CJ, you want to talk about it a little bit? Say something, anything? Can we give her the mic?
Hello, good afternoon, or good morning.
Good morning.
everyone.
Still
It's not
morning.
afternoon
Yeah.
yet. I am with the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals, and our mission is VA loan education. And so we would love for you all to join us at 1 p.m. today for our marketing to the military and veteran consumer. I promise you it's going to, we're going to give some great information, and you will be able to ask questions, etc. It will be presented by myself and a VA loan mortgage professional that is proficient in VA.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. We have a wealth of resources in different communities and divisions from the VA all the way to luxury, sports and entertainment. So take advantage of the opportunities and the people, the resources that you have here in our office. Thank you so much for that, CJ. All right, the business planning clinic, again, it's with Andy. It will be here. It's Tuesday on the 1st from 6 to 8:30 p.m. in this training room. It will be no Zoom, so it's in person only. Come with your information, come with your plans and your goals, and get that clinic.
Well, for clarity, you will be making your goals in there and having a.
Well, they can
leaving-
have an
Sure.
idea.
No, what I'm saying is you're gonna be leaving with your plan, your business plan for 2023 out the door. Okay, this is the evening version, evening. class.
Evening version. Thank you for that. Okay, the morning version,
No, this is goals.
goal setting.
I told you you need.
All right, Thursday, November 3rd, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Yes, Dave. The business planning? Is it to complement the business planning clinic
Well,
that
you're
happened
setting,
on
you're
that?
setting goals in bold. That's great. You can transfer it into the business planning clinic. Business planning clinic's gonna be even more than that. Okay, so I would, if you are able to make it, I would highly recommend.
Yeah. Two different. Mhm. First and third. The one, this one? For dummies. Okay, business planning clinic for dummies, Friday, 11/4. 9 a.m. The cursor's in the way on my side, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Full
right
day.
here in the Morris training room. So it's full day. We're going through a lot of the elements that the other two classes are talking, but we're making it easier for you. Okay.
It's full blown, yeah, full day. There was lunch provided.
All right. So that's next Friday. Oh, okay, I could have done that. Okay. All right. Next, trunk or treat. All right, if you haven't already, you can RSVP with our QR code here. Do know that you're able to bring your entire family. It will be fun. We'll have some music and some prizes. We're first prize for the winning trunk is HAR agent bill is being paid. Okay, so that's roughly about $469. Little under $500 right there for the first prize. Last year's winner was Kimbra. So come with your creativity. You can still partner up with other agents in the office if you just want to do that. And then you guys can have your trunk decorated and have candy there. Okay, next. Rick.
How's love still in the cooker? How's everyone doing? Good, good, good. So my name is Greg. I handle the marketing for the office. I have one update I want to give you guys, but before I do that, I want to ask a question that I asked you guys before, or many of you want to do one-on-ones and when I do classes. What is a brand? Someone give me an answer. And some of you should know the answer.
It's an identification symbol,
Okay. Anything else?
getting started, just getting.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Murtis. Anyone else want to add to that?
Something that represents your business. Something that represents your logo.
Okay. Anything else?
A way to identify yourself with a certain thing, a certain product or a certain, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you guys are all correct. I like to say a brand is the five senses, so the words, the sounds, feelings, even smell, touch, memories, and relationships associated with a business, service, or product. All right. So the five senses, relationships, and memories, all those collectively represent your brand, right? So if someone has a bad experience with you, do you think that impacts your brand? All right. It impacts your referrals as well, right? If something smells bad, then that affects your brand, all right? It also triggers how people remember you as well, all right? So when I say sound, if I say ba-da-da-da-da, what business is that? McDonald's, right? Just from the sound, right? That's why when Ladonna says president accounting for is a sound associated with our brand, all right? So your name, everything, the idea is that you put all your good experiences and relationships, that's why you want to have good vendors. You want that to be all associated with your business. So all of those things matters. So if you want to remember what your brand is, your five senses, any of those things, and then the memories and the relationships and all of that, you want to be as positive as possible to be associated with you. That makes sense, everyone? Okay, so that's really simple. Awesome. So quick update though, in terms of marketing. So just 2 dates for in terms of marketing classes and opportunities. So the first one is on this Friday, the 28th. So this is an invite only. So I know some people in this room have received the invite. It's specifically for cappers and top producers. We're going to give opportunity to highlight some marketing services for agents, as well as opportunities for lead generation. So definitely should come if you received the invite. It's the Friday at 2 p.m. Definitely want to hit the easy button for marketing. So very critical. We're going to have a great panel of top producers. So Sapana, Sahar, Chad is going to be involved, Katie Valance, and more people as well who's going to be involved in that conversation. So if you got the invite, definitely show up on next week on Thursday. So Calibre. So this is for any and everyone can attend. So that's Thursday at 11:30 a.m. So that's a marketing class. We're going to go through certain things that we've done before. So including branding, we're going to talk about how to design content for your social media. We're going to go through Instagram Reels. I think last time we had a great time creating Instagram Reels. We're going to do that again. And we're going to go through some other things that may be helpful for you for the market of your business, especially in the fourth quarter. Question?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So that's gonna be on Thursday, right? The Calibre class
Yeah.
in marketing, and you're gonna be doing all of that?
Yep.
Yeah, Thursday, November 3rd.
November 3rd.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Correct, I
Yeah.
understand that. And then there's a goal setting class at 1:30 on the same day?
At 1:30?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, I'll be done before that. Yeah. Yeah.
Worked on your schedule. I
I'm
like
No,
just looking at.
No, that's good. Good. She getting it down. And the reason for all this is it's the fourth quarter. So you guys want to complete the fourth quarter really strong. Those who complete the fourth quarter strong will be ready for next year, right? So question, go ahead.
I just have a question.
Sure.
Why is the one on Friday invite only? Like what is it that makes it that it's not open to all of us?
Got it. So it's specific services that's going to be offered. So right now, I'm not capable of offering it to everybody yet, but eventually it will be open to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a great question though. Thank you for asking.
So, okay.
Yep. Cool, cool. Any other questions? Yes, guys, asking great questions. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Remember, marketing is really critical for your business. Get ready for the fourth quarter. I know you guys are taking bold and taking all these different trainings. Both of these will be great for you guys. So that's all I got for you. Thank you.
Games are won during the fourth quarter. I just love our family. All right. Do you have anything? I should have known.
All right. First and foremost, reminder again, if you have not started playing with CMA Snap, I suggest you do so. All right, the QR code is there while I have it up. It'll take you straight there, or you can get there by cmasnap.com. It's an amazing CMA tool that is provided for you. All KW Southwest agents have access. You can run as many CMAs as you like and have a full-blown report for your view. If you would like to share, have the capabilities of sharing the CMA, you have to unlock that. There's a little bit of a premium on that. It's $15 a month, okay? $180 investment a year. It is totally worth it in my opinion, but you guys can make that decision for yourselves when you go in there and play with it, okay? I will be doing, again, another leveraging CMA Snap, so how to use it and its advantages this Friday, 3:30 here in the training room, and it's on Zoom. All right, so again, between now and then, if you feel free to, pull me aside and ask me any questions you have, even after team meeting. If you want the full-blown overview of it, this Friday at 3:30, okay? All right, the other thing I want to show you today is another, a feature, a command feature that's come up, a little command update, feature update that I wanted to show you. I haven't done one of these in a while. So here we are, and that one is in opportunities. Now I know that none of you are going to have to use this feature because you guys always put your contacts in first, right? Yes, sir. The one non-KW person said yes, sir. Okay, that's awesome. All right. Okay, so knowing that, we do have a bit of a shortcut that's been added into opportunities now, and all of you guys are gonna be like, finally, I know it, okay? So when you're creating the opportunity here, if you're coming in and creating the opportunity, okay, and your opportunity screen comes up to create your opportunity, when you go to your client name, all right, let's put Chad St. Jean because he's never bought anything from me, so he's not in my database, all right? And he's not in your database. Now you have an option to add new contact right in opportunities,
Great.
okay? And go ahead and click on it now. The only thing you can add in there other than their name is their phone number and email address. That way it's in opportunities for you to be able to have the contact information there. If there's any other information you'd like to add in there, you need to go back in your database at another point and add more information. Yet you can at least create the opportunity and continue on with your transaction right from here. All right. The same also is available with the co-seller. So if there's a spouse or a significant other or somebody else on the transaction, you can do the same thing with the co-seller or co-buyer, the co-client. Okay. So again, as a recap, you don't have to necessarily create the contact first before you create the opportunity. Now you can kind of do them both at the same time when you create the opportunity, if they're not already in your database. Again, none of you are going to use that because they're already in your database, right? Yeah, Miss Melanie Horn, I saw the side. Yep. All right, good deal, guys. That's what I have for you today. So start using that feature. All right. Yes, sir.
Opportunities you might point out is when you go to send to a client, and there might be 2, 3, 4, however many people, you can actually now click just above the left of where you send the emails, and you can give a different message to each.
Yeah, you can customize a message for each recipient. Yeah, appreciate it, Jack. Thank you. You're right. We'll
All
start
right.
showing that.
Well, if you have any additional questions, just go ahead and see Nimesh or the technology team here at the office, and they'll get you squared away. Okay, now finally I get the stage to myself. No, I'm just lying. Y'all know how I like to talk. Okay, so today we have some great guests with us. We're going to be talking about school district stuff. And y'all are like, we're in real estate. What the heck does that have to do with anything? Does the state of our schools impact our real estate communities? How so? I see a lot of heads nodding. Say it again. By overtaxing. Okay, zoning, okay, all right. The quality of the school impacts our property values. Awesome. All of these things we're going to talk about today, right? Because we want to make sure that as the market expert, we can inform and help and educate and give and empower our clients to make some great decisions, okay? And so I'm glad you guys are participating in this. Although our guests are from Fort Bend ISD, I know that our office represents multiple districts in here, but this is information that at least will, tickle your senses to go ask and probe from your districts to figure out the answers there as well. Okay, so is that fair? Great, so let's bring up our guests. We have with us today Deputy Superintendent Steve Bassett. We actually have Dr. Whitbeck, our Superintendent of Fort Bend ISD. She's here today as well. And then our Chief of Police, David Ryder. Give him a KW Southwest round of applause. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, here to educate us a little. We're gonna get schooled, educate us a little bit on what's going on with Fort Bend ISD. But before that, let's get to know you. Everybody here has not had the privilege of knowing who you are. So introduce yourself again and tell me, what do you do and why Fort Bend?
All right. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Christy Whitbeck, Superintendent. Been back in Fort Bend ISD for a year now. Previously from 2000, do I need this? Do we
For
need
the
it?
online,
Okay.
just in case.
All right. Let me make sure, is it on?
It's
Does it
on.
sound on? Okay, so came back this past year, but in 2013 to 17, I served as Deputy Superintendent here in Fort Bend. I've been in Fort Bend County almost my entire career, raised my children, love it, came back for the possibility of working here again, mainly because of the people. But I'm a career educator, teacher, principal, assistant soup, deputy soup, and I was superintendent in Bryan before I was fortunate enough to come back as your superintendent in this community. So that's a little bit about me, and I'll pass it on.
All right.
Hello, everybody. My name is Steve Bassett. I'm Deputy Superintendent, so I'm responsible for everything not academic. So HR, finance, IT, operations, all kinds of stuff like that. I was gone for 2.5 years. I was with the district before from 2013 to 2019 as a CFO. Got to know the community, really enjoyed it. And then whenever I was off in North Texas, I decided to come back because Dr. Whitbeck asked me to. I'm like, okay, I'll definitely come back, work for her. My background before school business in 2003, I was in the industry. I worked at Price Waterhouse, USAA, AT&T, a lot of corporate experience, and that's still the way I think. So anyway.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having us. My name is David Ryder. I'm your Chief of Police for the Fort Bend ISD Police Department. I've been here almost 13 years as your chief. I've been in law enforcement 32 years. 25 of that has been in school district police work. So we've seen a lot of changes over the years, and we'll continue to see some changes in school district policing. My family lives here in Fort Bend. 2 kids that went to Fort Bend or are currently in. I've got one at A&M now. There you go. And the other one is a junior at the and the other is a junior at Travis High School. So we are embedded in Fort Bend ISD, and we're happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
And I would just tell you that right before I came here, just to share with you how connected we really all are. I was at the University of Houston for a panel for some potential corporations, not just companies, looking to move into Fort Bend County. And so I was able to be there to speak about Fort Bend ISD, why we would be able to provide the quality programs, the choices for their employees, right? Which is directly connected to you, who might then work with these employees to find housing, right? So I think we just, to start us off, just to know how connected we really are. By the way, my brother, he owns a Keller Williams in Kansas City. And so my whole family are realtors. I'm the only one that's not a realtor. I don't know, maybe I will someday when I retire, because my whole family's doing it, right? But anyway, we all really are connected with the same mission of just really having a fabulous community that we can all be proud of.
Awesome, awesome. Just to let you guys know, you can control the slides. They're all behind here. You'll just point and click with that. Okay, awesome. Okay, so we have some agents in here who are relatively new and some people who are just moved into the district. Give us a quick snapshot of the district itself. How many schools, the kids, you know, what does it look like?
All right, so the gist of we literally need to update our slide like every other day. We are now the 6th largest district in the state. That's a change. We were the 8th. We actually hadn't looked it up in a while, but we have bypassed Austin and Fort Worth. So we are now the 6th largest in the state of Texas. We are 300 children short of 80,000. So all the talk about the kids that we lost during the pandemic, which we did, and that hurt us in many ways, they're back. And so are all their friends. So we're close to 80,000. That's the largest that Fort Bend ISD has ever been in the history of the district. 82 campuses, 13,000 employees. We are the #1 employer in Fort Bend County. Okay, so just to kind of give you that perspective, we encompass 171 miles. So as you know, we're all the way down in Sienna, next to Arcola, near Alvin ISD. We're in Missouri City. We move on into the whole city of Sugar Land. We move up north where we are on the heels of Alief ISD and Lamar Consolidated. So we have quite a footprint in our community. Okay. That help you with, when we talk about, I don't know that we're really doing our slides. Is that correct? Are we kind of skipping? There is a slide though. Let's go to the opportunities because that's actually, we had 6 state championships last year. And if you'll notice and look at them, of course, we have academic decathlon, which has been like 6 years in a row, but we have athletics. We have fine arts, one act play, we have track, you see such a variety. So my words here in Fort Bend is that there's a niche for every child. There's something that every child can find that they can love. We graduated 6,100 students just this past year. And then I think our next slides, these are just a few of the things that we have. I do want to point out 75 National Merit Scholars. That puts children at the top 1% in the nation. So we're producing some of the brightest children that can go forward to be at MIT, to be at Harvard, to be wherever they want to be. Of course, A&M, right? I'm just kidding.
And they're not all at Clemens.
Yeah, and so wherever, right?
They're not all at Clemens.
Oh, and they're not all at Clemens. That's
There you
right.
go. They're
I'm
not
supposed to
all
make
at
sure I say
Clemens.
that. They're not all at Clemens. Actually, I believe they were spread over about 7 schools.
You know what, Dr. Whippet, that's one of the reasons that we wanted to make sure that you guys came in here because we know that the schools are one of the major reasons why people are flooding into Fort Bend and that we're constantly growing. And as you mentioned, COVID, there was some form of an exodus and then some things came out. Can you describe where was the district going before COVID?
Here,
Well, I'm sorry.
here. I mean, we were growing.
I think we were on a trajectory of growth and every year the district had been growing. And then COVID, and remember a lot of what happened at Fort Bend ISD is not just of Fort Bend ISD. In the nation, we saw kids, like people in other district superintendents will say, where did they go? Literally like their records weren't transferred to Dallas or to Arkansas. Where did they go? And we wonder, oftentimes, did they homeschool? Did they just sort of disappeared off the radar? And so we're all seeing that, and we're all working on recapturing those families, and those kids need to get back in school. So we were on a trajectory of growth, though. But what happened in the 21 year, they thought they would get back in at the pace that they'd been going, and they hired based on that. But then the kids were still about 2,000 short. So, but then now, again, they're all back. And we're about 1,063 children over projected for this year. So we've got them back and more. So we're excited about that because that's a momentum and that's good. And it's good for kids that they're back in class. We really need to see that. And I wanted you to see this. This is an important slide because as I just spoke to the developers, the people that are looking at bringing industry and corporations into the Fort Bend County, this is an important piece of what makes Fort Bend ISD unique. I was a principal in Katy. I was an assistant superintendent in Alvin, a principal in Aggie Land area, Brian. This is unique to us. All right, we have an early college high school. I just learned that our first graduating class this year is going to produce about 50 kids with an associate's degree. Okay, in addition to their high school diploma. So they're going to get out with a huge leg up. And then we have P-TECH pathways at 3 schools. We have the Reese Center, which hopefully you've seen before. It's amazing. It has 14 career pathways located within it. It has ag science. It has auto mechanics, welding, emergency management technicians, audiovisual, and more, culinary arts. And then we have academies. So we have 7 different schools within schools that meet the needs of kids. And I think if we have do we have another slide where we have 245 fine arts options? So if you are a fine arts inclined, art classes, theater classes, we have so many things, and 18 organized sports. We actually just started water polo. And so for the kids that are in it, they're loving it. Lots of student opportunities for kids to be a part of robotics and history fairs and lots of choices, and many things. We partner with our community, our churches, our places of worship, and businesses to support our kids.
So I've heard that with COVID, there was a dip and then there was a blessing. But what are some of the other challenges that COVID brought about? How did that impact the district itself?
Well, I would say right here, I would say COVID, and I don't think, I would just say to you, if somebody tells you that everyone's recovered from COVID, I would say no, we are recovering from COVID. I would say it's going to be 5 to 7 years academically across our nation to recover from COVID, okay? Because children, especially children in formative years, lost ground. And they have to have that ground made up. At the same time, they could be dealing with social and emotional issues. We're also dealing with a nationwide teacher shortage. So we're looking at having to have the people that we need to work with them. This is very real. We're talking about it in every superintendent meeting I attend. Very real. So as those children, they disappeared, so did some of the adults. And maybe they're realtors now. I don't know. Maybe they're I don't know. But if you want to be a teacher, just talk to me afterwards, because I know that sometimes those skill sets are very similar, especially in building relationships. But we do know that we've got to work hard to get our educators motivated again and to feel that excitement about teaching.
So where's the district going next year?
Wow, where are we going next year? I mean, the same trajectory, hopefully, but a lot of this depends on what's going on with our tax rate election.
Tell us more about that.
Well, we're having a difficulty. So let me back up a little bit. The state hasn't changed the funding formula in 4 years. Okay, so we've been dealing with inflation, and then we also have a big disconnect on our special ed funding. For every special ed student that comes in, the average amount of revenue that we get is $4,100 less than the cost for the average student that comes in. So we're bearing the cost of over 36 million that the state isn't making up, or the federal government isn't making up. We've also lost 21 million in other state funding sources. So we're one of over 76% of the districts in the state that are having this kind of election. This isn't the club we've been trying to join. We've been trying to put it off for years, but we're now to the point of going through this step. KDISD is doing the exact same thing. They have a great school district, right next to us. People are always looking to the two of us for a lot of, what's good out there in K-12. And so just like them, we're at the point where we need to do this. And so a lot of what happens this coming year is going to impact the success, based on the success or failure of the election. We have a question back here.
Explain what you are going to do with the raised income.
Let's back up for a second. For those of you who don't know what's going on, when you say this type of an election, we are on the of an election, right? And it's a special tax election. Can you explain a little bit about why this is even coming up? And then we can pivot to your question.
Yeah, so there's a slide in here that I think really tells the story in terms of why we're having to do the election. And then we'll go back to some of these other ones that are important. They're all important, but the state, you've heard about this, the state is mandating that we reduce our tax rate. And this is happening throughout the state with higher property value growth. And it's been happening since 2019. So they're mandating that we lower our tax rate by 5.5 pennies, and which is great. I'm a taxpayer, and that's great. And so we're also we are benefiting from the property value growth that we have on the debt side, not the general fund side, but on the debt side. And we're able to lower that tax rate by 2 pennies. But in order to get more money on the general fund side, we're asking that the voters be able to, that we can keep the tax rate at $1.21 by retaining those 7.5 pennies. Okay, so this is the reason why we have to have an election, even though we have $1.21 last year in our tax rate and $1.21 this year in our tax rate. The state is mandating that if we want to keep the tax rate the same, that because of that compression, that we have to have an election. Okay, so that kind of explains why we have to do the election.
Where they were.
Where, which one?
This is the one that shows the tax rate where it's been.
Okay, yeah.
I just saw it. There we go.
Yeah.
I think this is critical. I think this is also very critical though, because when you look at just as recently as 2019, the tax rate was $1.32 and now it's at $1.21. So what we're concerned about, if you really want to just get it right out there, what we're concerned about is that if it goes down even more as time goes on, we're going to have a very difficult time providing all of the same programs and taking care of our people and safety issues the way in which we believe we need to do it. Okay, so at $1.21, we feel like we can make that work, but we have to go to the voters to keep it there. So it's unusual because if you've been in the community a long time or a taxpayer a long time, you know that up until 2006, school boards set their rates and there wasn't any of this election needed. And now not only is an election needed, but the ballot is very difficult to understand. It's like writing it in calculus when we're really talking about 8th grade math. Okay, the average community member who looks at the ballot is going to think it's going to raise their taxes higher than this, and they're going to be confused by the language. And we can show you what that looks like. But I'd also like you to go back to the other point you made, Steve.
Do you also still have the slide in there that compares where we are with neighboring?
Yes, that's in here.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that right now?
Okay, because that's closer.
Okay, so here's Fort Bend ISD at $1.21. Here's Houston. Houston's ISD is the lowest. Now, Houston, no one's going to be like Houston. They have skyscrapers. They have massive industry. No district can ever be as low as them if they're anywhere in any type of suburbia. So Alief is about like us. Lamar, 3 cents higher. Look at Cy-Fair, 12 cents higher. Katy, 14 cents higher, going to their voters, asking for the same thing we are, to not have it drop and to be able to have that revenue stay with them so that they can, literally, they're going to use it for raises. Okay, so I think in this, I also want to kind of get to the point, go to the teacher compensation.
Yeah, this is.
Because this is critical. So we're all competing for teachers. I just mentioned to you a teacher shortage. One thing you're going to learn about me is I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm going to tell you when it's really pretty and I'm going to tell you when it's ugly. Okay, so right now we have been very competitive. We are the red line, Fort Bend ISD, always been teacher competitive, always, and love that that's important. Here we are in this year. You see, we're a little lower in starting salary at 59.5. And then HISD jumped out with an 11% raise and lapped everybody in the area. And then Katy ISD came out with 5% and went up over us. So our concern is that if we do not have the revenue we need to stay competitive, you know, teachers have choices. They may love where they're at. They may love their principal, but they have choices. And so we do not want to lose ground. We're not looking to have to be the lap everybody, but we need to be competitive. Okay. And part of this, should this pass, involves us spending money on compensating our teachers and our staff and safety, which Chief is here to talk about. Okay. So let's go to safety and let's Chief switch over to that. Let's go to the safety slide.
Well, as you were talking, I was telling Steve, hey, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. We go around to all the community meetings, to all the staff meetings, and we give this presentation. We've done it over and over and over. And so I'm thinking so many things are going through my mind, and I can talk about safety for the next 6 hours. So I hope you got time. But one of the things that that this TRE would do for us is we've heard from our community members, and they want an officer at every elementary school. And that's not out of the ordinary now. That's kind of par for the course for a lot of school district police departments across the country, even school districts that partner with their city police or sheriff's departments. They're getting school resource officers or SROs to come be at the elementary schools. You know, a couple of years ago in 2019, our school board gave us some extra officers so that we could have elementary patrol officers, because we were already thinking that way back in 2019. We just weren't thinking that we were going to put one at every school. Well, now we hear that from the community, hey, I want an officer at my kid's school. And I get that, right? We have 54 elementary schools. That's a lot. And so it's, what's that?
Adding more.
And adding more, right? And so as we start thinking about the safety there and put an officer there, we're having to think out of the box on where those people would come from, where those officers would come from. What kind of work calendar are we looking at? What's attractive? What kind of pay scale do we need to be competitive? You know, Sugar Land PD just gave a huge raise. Lamar is taking a lot of our folks, right? And that's another reason for this TRE, right? We have to be competitive, just like teachers are leaving. Police officers now, the nature of police departments now is there are so many vacancies that people, applicants can pick and choose which agencies they want to go to, and they can put in one or maybe two applications at the agencies that pay the most, and they're probably going to get hired, right? Because everybody is shorthanded. So if you're kind of down the list, like 7 out of 11 in compensation, you're probably not going to get very many applicants, right? And that's not what we want for our kids. That's not what I want as a chief. I want the best applicants out there, right? So that's another benefit of this TRE passing, as that we would have funding available to give us some compensation so that we get competitive. We don't have to be top, just like the teachers. We don't have to be above Sugar Land or Lamar ISD or Cy-Fair or whoever. We just need to be competitive so that we can get some good applicants who turn into good officers that we can put on the campuses, right? So when we talk about safety, and just so you know, we put a safety and security master plan in place in 2014. And with that bond and the 2018 bond, we put in things like security vestibules, window film, 7,000 floor mounted door locks that protect people inside the classroom, right? That are activated instantly. Cameras, 6,000 IP cameras across the district. Did I say card access systems? I mean, there's so many different systems and processes and procedures that we put in place over the years. We have a layered approach to security in Fort Bend. And so if you think about it, from my perspective, I have to protect against the boogeyman, who I don't know what they look like, and I don't know when they're coming, to keep them out of our schools. But I also have to protect against the student who's supposed to be in the schools, who might be having a bad day, right? Or the staff member who's supposed to be in the building, who might be having a bad day, because that can happen too, right? And so those are two totally different scenarios, same outcome at the end of the day, but we have to protect against them from totally different angles. And so we have to put a layered system in place that helps us protect all of our kids. And so it's very complicated. There's a lot to it that I don't have time to explain, but I'm just telling you, the TRE is critical for us. If this doesn't pass, we're in the same boat we are now, and just we're getting passed up, right? And we don't want that for our kids. So
Steve, go to the property value.
Yeah, so one of the,
This is a good one. That's a good one too, bond versus.
yeah, so there's always a lot of confusion about elections, and people say, okay, well, how's that bond election coming up? Well, it's not a bond election. You're very familiar with the right side. We've had bond elections over time. We have two tax rates. We have a debt service fund. We have one of the lower debt service funds because we're able to manage our debt really well. And so we've had it in 2018, 2014 decades, everybody's familiar with that. But to have an election on this side, this is what's new to us. This is, Fort Bend hasn't done it before, Katy hasn't done it before, but like I've said, more than 76% of the districts have. And this election helps us in all these areas, pay for employees, supplies. We talk about inflation. We drive the circumference of the earth, all of our buses every day. Okay, think about it. I mean, the entire circumference. So that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to us in terms of inflation and how that's impacted us. But here, we talk about taxes and property values and whatever else. And so we talked about compensation. Okay, so property value growth has gone through the roof. Okay, I mean, it's just gone crazy. But what is very disappointing about this is that people think that because they're paying that much more to the county, and the county does give us that much money, they think that that's a windfall for us. I mean, it's not. Out of that 15%, we're keeping zero of that. Zero. The next slide I'm going to show you. So this is something you have at your places. You can take this with you. It's a four-page handout, but this slide right here explains things, and that's on the graphic. You can take it with you. You can take that with you, but so if our property values have increased on, what's happening to this? Where's the money going? Well, I just moved back and I live in Sugar Creek. My property value went up. Okay. Everybody's did. If I pay $1,000 more in property taxes, okay, and the school collects that, what happens? The state actually pays us $1,000 less, dollar for dollar. Okay. Our revenue is based on enrollment and attendance. If we have enrollment and attendance of 79,000, 95%, 95% attendance, and then this year, 79,000, 95% attendance, we have the exact same revenue, even if property value goes up 5%, 10%, 40%. It's the exact same. The state is the one benefiting from the property value growth. And this goes back to this goes back to the Robin Hood stuff from the late 70s, early 80s, where the state is using funds from folks that have higher property value, giving it to the districts that don't. And that's okay. All right. But I think what's happening though, is that we haven't had an adjustment from the state in the basic allotment in over 4 years. And they've cut us on the instructional materials allotment, and then on special ed, we have that big gap, $36 million.
But I think if you walk away with nothing else, I hope you walk away with that myth buster. Because people think I'm writing a bigger check to FBISD. They don't need any money. They're getting all that money. But it's just like Steve said, it's being taken out the back door. Dollar for dollar, not 50% of it, not 20% of it, dollar for dollar. And so I think that if we don't get anything else across today, I hope that you get that across. And so for us to maintain competitive salaries, to take care of our people, to keep our schools safe, to do all these amazing choices and programs that Fort Bend ISD is known for and has succeeded at. 84% of our schools have A's and B's. 84%. Okay, we are a strong district. So in order to maintain all of that, something's got to give. And then we're so
let
this
me
is
talk about
important too.
this. So I come from a corporate background, and you got to look at, it's not just about revenue, it's about reductions. We have to be able to prove to our taxpayers that we're good steward of taxpayer funds. Okay, so what are we doing to get leaner? We've cut 15.4 million out of our budget already, the budget coming into this year. We're committing to having further, I don't know if it's still on, okay. Yeah, we're committing to having further reductions of 22.9 million, whether or not we have a successful TRE or not. We're committing to have further reductions, okay, because we need to get leaner. And so that's one of the things we're working on. We've frozen a lot of positions. You may not be able to see all this, but 2 assistant superintendents, you got executive director of HR, you got a couple of directors, assistant directors. We, as executive team, we look at every non-campus position that's been opened. We talk about it Monday, and on every Monday, and we decide whether or not we're going to fill those. Some we do and some we don't. We're filling campus positions because that's where the kids are. Okay, we're filling campus positions, but the non-campus positions we're talking about, and there's a lot that we've been cutting. This is just through June 30th. And so that's one of the ways we're getting smaller. We have to reach a target of 22.9 million. We actually need to have 353 fewer folks in the system. Now, unlike other places I've been, like USA and AT&T, where they've had layoffs, and this district's had a layoff before. It's very difficult to do a layoff. There's other consequences of that I don't want to bore you with, but we don't think we have to have a layoff. We hire enough people every year. We hire more than 1,300 people every year since I've been associated with the district, over 1,300. So all we have to do is hire fewer people. Okay, and we'll be able to get smaller through attrition. We don't have to have a layoff. But some of the things on here that we're looking at, we're looking at strategic abandonment of programs. If it's something we're not getting the bang for the buck that we need out of it, then we may have to sunset that. But we are also looking at consolidation of some schools. Okay, and so that's something that's going to be needed. So that hopefully that gets your attention. So that's how serious this stuff is. So it's not just about revenue; it's about reductions as well.
So if we had to kind of drive a nail into the point, what would be 3 things? I
still haven't had an answer to the question.
Oh,
Yeah,
3
yeah.
asked them
No,
questions.
I'll no. So your question was, what is the money being spent on, right?
Where's it going? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
No, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So let me get to that. There's the tax rate. Okay, you saw how we compare to others. We can talk about proposition language, but this is how, these are the investments, the new investments that are being made. Safety and security, there's the 4 million for the officers. Immediate increase in teacher pay. We're raising that scale immediately by 500. All of our lowest paid employees are, they either got a 2% raise or a 3% raise. We're bringing them all up to the 5% raise level. We've committed, we're a self-funded health plan. I think we have 9,000 of our employees that are on our health plan. We committed to them to not having a premium increase. In order to maintain that, we need to be able to put more money from the general fund into the health fund. And then we're implementing a longevity pay program. There's some detail in the longevity pay program that's in this. But besides this, so we, in one of the HOA presentations that we gave, people looked at this, okay, that's 15.2 million. You're talking about 47 more million in revenue for the general fund. So, what's up with the difference of that? Do you have a $35 million slush fund that you're going to have? Well, the answer is no. Okay. We had a deficit the year before last, we had a deficit this past year of 9.2 million. We're expecting a deficit this year, if this doesn't pass, of $47 million. So we need the VATR to close that gap. And while we're getting right on the reduction side, we still need to be able to make solid contributions or solid improvements on the compensation side in order to keep the teachers and the staff in this very competitive market. And
I want to also expound on one piece though. I want to expound on one piece that I think you can connect to. I want you to think about some child that either in your home or your family or in the community that receives some sort of special education services. It could be as small as just needing speech therapy. It could be as severe as needing a one-on-one aide or even a one-on-one nurse. We actually have those needs in this district. And then we have children who just need resource classes or support in certain contents, or maybe they're dyslexic. I know there's not a person in this room that has not had experience in their family or through their friends and neighbors to know of someone like that. It is our duty to serve the children, all of them. And it is our desire to do that, and we will. But the 36 million we're not getting from the state just in special ed is almost the entire amount that we would be getting from the VATRE. And how many years can we keep going where the cost is more and more and more? And I want to share with you that we've gone from 6.5% of our population being special education to 12%. And that's why. But when I talk to Dr. Nivens in Lamar, when I talk to Dr. Bostic in Stafford, when I talk to my friends and colleagues everywhere else, same exact thing. Everyone's special ed numbers are going through the roof. So it's costing us more to serve, but we have an obligation to serve all children. Okay, so I think that that's a really point I want to drive in, because 36 million out of 47 is huge. And so there's your biggest difference, okay, and your biggest takeaway of the difference. But these are things that we really do need to take care of our people and the safety. Okay, so I hope you got an answer to your question of what we're going to use it for. Yeah, I mean, tell us what's not clear.
No, what you presented is clear, but I still question that you can or cannot cut. Coming from, I used to be a CEO of a couple companies.
And coming from where I am, I see a lot of waste. And then I see a lot of repairs that have not been done. Case in point, I have to take my grandson every morning. He's in the GT program. So I take him up to
Quail Valley.
He goes to Quail Valley, but I take him to Arizona Fleming.
Oh, for the transportation?
Right. There's a fence that's been down for almost 2 years, still sitting on the ground.
Okay.
Your officer drives by it every day. Why is that not taken care of? Why is that stuff not taken care of? Is it money or is lack of something else?
Oh, no, but we'll check on the fence at Arizona Fleming.
Well,
But
and the fences were approved.
yeah,
recently
we
by
have
the
new
board,
fences.
so
Our
new
board,
fences is coming, so
our
we
board just
probably haven't-
approved.
We're
Yeah,
probably not gonna spend money to fix a fence that we're about to replace.
we're replacing fences.
Yeah, but it's been a while.
2 years
Sure.
is that's unacceptable. Now, but let me just share the story you just gave is an equity story. Your grandchild is picked up at Arizona Fleming and taken by the district over to Quail Valley.
This is one of the things that we do is we provide transportation for all children who wish to participate in various programs. So if I'm at Bush High School all the way up by the West Park Tollway and I want to be in the engineering academy out at Elkins, guess who takes them? Fort Bend ISD, not mom and dad. Now, they may need to get them to the nearest elementary school, but that's going to be relatively close. But we transport them the bulk of the way, and we do that back and forth across the way for everything. That's one of the services that we provide, which is why we're driving the circumference of the earth every day. So it is not perfect. There's no excuse for the fence. Don't know. But do know that all these other things we're doing are part of our challenge.
Okay, I know. He is asking. a
So
question.
you're asking us to vote to give y'all 15.2 million, but you said that you're still gonna lose 36 million?
No, we're asking you to vote to sustain the tax rate, keep the tax rate the same. Okay, so our tax rate,
Lose money,
our,
you're trying to cut things to not lose money. Is that?
yeah, our
Did I
tax,
hear it right or wrong? Because she says you're gonna lose 36 million.
we're losing
We're already
36,
losing.
we're losing 36 million over every year on this. Let me,
Just curious, how long has it been going on?
so the special ed.
You said that's what's been going on for a few years.
All right, let me finish. All right, let me get started. The special ed disconnect has been going on for many years, since the beginning of time, basically, but it's becoming much more pronounced because in 2016, our special ed percentage was 6.4%. Now it's almost 12%. Okay, so we're having a lot more financial pressure in just the last few years because of special ed. All right, so we've been talking to the legislature about it, but again, this setup has happened, 2 decades, so we can't wait for them to help us on that anymore. That's one of the reasons why we're going to our voters. Okay, so that's on the special ed side. All right, the deficit that we have in our budget this year, without using ESSER money, and we want to use ESSER money for the academic losses that have happened. Okay, but we also have to survive financially, so we don't want to have to rely on that. And so if we're only asking for what we need, which is the 47 million, because that's the deficit that we have this year, 47 million. Okay. If we don't close that gap, then we'll have to find that much more to reduce our budget by. And we're already making big reductions. And those reductions are going to continue even if we have a successful election.
Yeah, I'm just like, how much worse is the deficit gonna go? How long is it going on? Because a $15 million Band-Aid doesn't fix a $47 million.
Well, the revenue. So look at this.
Call our state reps and say, hey.
Well, that wouldn't hurt. Okay, but the revenue, the 15.2 million are the new investments that we're going to be making for the security and the pay and stuff like that you saw. The 47 million, that's actually the impact to the revenue for the general fund. So if we have a successful election, we will, just like this ballot language says, we will get 47 million more in revenue. Okay, and it's ongoing. It's ongoing revenue. It's not just one-time revenue. Okay. We will not have a deficit next year if we're successful with this. Okay. And then if you look the year after that, with some of the new school openings and things like that we have to have, we're going to have to find some more reductions to be able to not have a deficit later. So we're going to continue to reduce whether or not we have a successful election or not. Because
how did we get here? I'm just.
Well, that's how did we get here? No, there's been no mismanagement or anything along those lines. We've been putting off having to have a TRE. No, that's okay.
No, I appreciate you guys coming in, right? I want to give us some clarity on this, and I want you guys to understand, I say this back, education is a critical piece of Fort Bend County, and it's connected to our livelihood, and i.e. real estate as well. We have, I don't know if you guys know Dave, he served on the board for how many years?
10 years. Was the board president for how many? 1 year. That's all he could take. And yet I appreciate you guys coming out and having these real conversations. We want to be an advocate for you for this, and time is really important. And you've just been in the position 1 year as superintendent?
Yes.
1 year. So Dave, you kind of wrap, because you're one of us now, right?
Yeah, sure.
Kind of wrap this up for us, and then let's really get this clear. So we can be more than just, hey, we're questioning if we want to vote yes. We want you to come out of here that we're an advocate.
Thank you for that. Thank you all for being here. Good to see you. So I would like you, as someone who poured 10 years of my life into the school district, okay?
A little louder.
As someone who poured 10 years of my life into the school district, I'd like you all to consider just looking at the big picture that they've already touched on, is the school district really is the heart of the community. What these folks are saying, these are good people, okay? And what they're saying, there's so much noise out there. What they're saying is in order to continue offering high quality schools, then that they need this money to fill these deficits. I was there, okay? I watched this happen. The Fort Bend ISD has been incredibly fiscally conservative over many years, over the last decade. The school district has a fund balance, and I actually don't like to use that word. And I noticed Steve was careful not to really use that because people say slush fund. It's not a slush fund. It's money that's there that's needed to fill some of these gaps. And over the past several years, we've had a draw from that. We were storing money. We were saving additional money when property values were going up years ago. We weren't taking that money and wasting it. We weren't building $100 million stadiums. We weren't doing stupid things with the money. We were saving it for times like this. But with COVID and some of the other gaps that you're hearing about, that's where the money is now being used to fill these so that we can still hire people and have teachers in classrooms, right? So there's a lot of noise out there, okay? The word recapture came up. There's people using that word on social media. They didn't even know how to spell it 2 weeks ago, okay? Don't listen to the noise. Six immediate past board presidents just put out a letter yesterday, I believe, all signed, asking the community to support the tax ratification election. We knew this was coming years ago. While other districts were doing this, they were out there raising taxes, raising rates. We haven't had to do that. We're taking money, this was a second bond in 2018 was the second bond that I participated in. We're actually lowering the tax rate because they were able to use incredibly creative financing to fund these projects, the construction projects. So again, we're not out there wasting money. And I keep saying we, because it's been 10 years, I'm used to saying we, but it's they now. But it's we. It's actually, if you live in this community and you're selling houses in this community, it is we. So it's important for us to hear the right information and to put the right information out there during this election season so we can keep this community strong by keeping the school strong. So.
Thank you, Dave.
Get active within your community. Speak to your principals, your teachers. Is there anything else that we can do?
May I summarize?
Please.
So you're used to bonds. Bonds are building buildings, adding additions, fixing roofs. People can see it, they can touch it, they understand it. You're used to that. The community has always been supportive of bonds. This is the maintenance and operations side of the house. This is what pays the salaries, the utilities, buys the textbooks, buys the iPads, all the things that are needed. This is the bulk of the budget, okay? So first of all, we got to get our head around the fact that this is not a bond. It's something very different. I would rather talk to the community about 5 bonds than 1 VATRE, okay? Because it's so much harder to understand. So the issue is, the tax rate is at $1.21. We feel is very competitive. We feel it's affordable. The state is forcing it down, and we're asking by a vote for the VATRE, we're asking that it not go down, that it stay at $1.21. That will bring in $47 million per year to the district, in which we intend to use to offset the funding that we've lost in special ed, materials, all these other areas, as well as funding compensation for our teachers and additional safety measures like officers in our elementary schools. That's it in a nutshell. And we just appreciate you being advocates for the district, and thank you for, please take a moment to take care of a teacher. Let a teacher know that they've made an impact. That's one of our big pushes this year. People are leaving the profession, and we want to keep them here, because if you're going to teach, this is the place to teach, and we want to value them. So they're in here because it pulls at their heart, not because it pulls at their pocket as much. But we got to let them know they're making a difference. You need to say anything else? We're good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Absolutely.
All right, our Allied Business Partners, y'all want to come up real quick? And then our sponsor for lunch. We're a little over time, so we're gonna keep it short.
I'm always trying to be super quick. No, I'm just kidding. Go. You're gonna be quick? No. Hi, guys. Melissa from Patent Title downstairs. I gave you this. This is our new system, Title Pro 247. That's actually a program that lets you farm a certain area, be able to pull information off of, like a 50% or more equity, 5 bedrooms, that sort of thing, to look at where you want to door knock or where you want to farm. So if you want information on this, and I can send you a link to sign up for this, it's free. Text or email me or come down and I will set you up on that. And real quick, my fun fact is a World Series fun fact. Do you know that home field advantage was determined in 2003? And it was actually decided after whoever won the MLB All-Star game. So whoever won the All-Star game got field advantage for the World Series. That's how that happened. So that's it. That's all I got. See, was quick.
Come on, you go. Go, you.
Okay, yeah, I was reading the Tony Robbins book. There's one fact is really fascinating, okay? The main point is when you ask people question, different wording produce a different result, okay? When we go get our driver license, we'll ask you, do you want to donate your organ? And the other way to ask it, okay, put a check mark here if you want to donate your organ. The other way to ask is put the check mark here if you don't want to donate your organ, okay? This is I ask, like Germany ask, if you want to donate, put a check mark there. 12% of people donate, okay? The other way to ask, like Australia, 99% of people donate their organ because the people are too lazy to put the check mark there. This is go by the default, okay? So when we do referral, it's kind of like you just leave them the default, like choose a red line, give me my phone number. It's the same thing. Different way to ask the referral produce is different.
So basically, you can use this inside of your real estate business instead. Go for the affirmative as opposed to the negative. If you don't want me to send you send this referral out, click the check mark. And they won't click the check mark, that means send the referral.
Good one. I like that. That was a fun fact too.
Excellent.
Okay?
Yes.
There you go.
All right, Sam.
Hey, real quickly, tomorrow morning, we have a Mortgage 101 course at 10:30 in the morning. We're going to talk about some basics, but we're also going to go into the hot button in regards to rates, discount points, how you as agents need to write it up on a contract so that the lender will be happy with the way that it's written. Also, we are doing some video business cards. I've got a couple of people here that are signed up for those. Those will be coming out. Our guy's going to come probably about every month and a half. So if you want to contact us again about getting in on that next time, we'd love to help you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yes.
And finally, our lunch sponsor for today. Really appreciate him. He's been very active in coming to the office. This is Michael Hale with Goosehead.
Hello, like she said, my name is Michael Hale. I am with Goosehead Insurance. I know I have about negative 15 minutes to talk, so I'll keep it brief. But insurance is that one thing that everyone needs to move into the home, but no one wants to deal with. And I understand that. My mom always complained about having to deal with insurance. And so that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to take that stress off your client's shoulders and off of yours as well. A couple things that we offer to help speed up the process and make it more efficient is going to be this right here. It's also going to be on the back of my cards right next to the food. If you scan this QR code, it'll bring you to a digital agent link. What that does is the client or yourself can put in information about your home and auto. I know y'all are more worried about the home though. And you can get a ballpark quote to see how much the insurance payments would be for the year. This isn't only going to give you a good ballpark, but it's also going to give you a really good estimate on how much they're actually going to be paying every year for their home, because this does play into their cost for that home that a lot of people don't think about. Another thing that we're able to do is run a flood zone determination. A flood zone determination is very important because if you are in a high risk flood zone, it's also called an AE flood zone, you are going to have to need flood insurance for that mortgage. This can also, if someone's looking between two homes and one's in a high risk and one's in a low risk flood zone, this can make the difference between $1,000 to $2,000 a year if they need that flood insurance or not. And that can help them decide on which home they want, which makes it a little bit easier for y'all, so you don't give them, they don't choose one home, see the payments, want to back out, and you have to restart the whole process. Aside from that, I can go on about our services and systems all day. My main priority is to build a really great relationship with your client, because I know as realtors, y'all have the most FaceTime interaction with your client. You know your clients as people. I want to get to know them as people too, because everything that I do reflects on your business 100%. And I know the way y'all make money is off of referrals. We're in the same business. I understand that. And I could talk about myself all day. I can talk the talk. But if y'all really want, to ask someone that y'all trust, someone you work with, I've done deals with Brandon Turner, Catherine Albee, Daniel Harris, and I even quoted out Brad, but he didn't go with me. We'll work on that though. And so y'all feel free to ask them. Feel free to ask me questions. I'd love to stay and ask questions, but I know y'all are ready to eat. My cards are on the table back there. If y'all do have any questions, I will be here. Please feel free to ask me. But I do love being here. I will continue to be here every week for the team meeting unless I'm sick. And I just look forward to working with all of y'all and getting to know y'all better. So
Appreciate you. Thank you. All right, that's a wrap. Thank you, everybody, for your patience, your questions. I hope you are going to be out there and be an advocate for your school district. Let us know if you need anything. We're here for you. Enjoy.